Hey everybody, it's Sophie and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. And today we are reviewing the last episode of Hell's Kitchen.
Season 23.
Which means it was the finale. Between two contestants, Hannah and Kyle. And last week they had picked their teams from former contestants. And so that was all set. And in this episode, they showed them, working on their menus and going over it with their teams. And it looked like they were pretty set for what was going to happen. And what it was is the usual thing where they had to make an entire dinner service for the people in the restaurant, just like all the other weeks. Both of them of the dinners of their own choosing, and they picked some of the things that they picked. They had been cooking them all along, like scallops, for example.
No, they made up their own menus.
Yeah, but they're still in the...
Oh, Sophie, that's a stupid thing to say, like, oh, they're cooking chicken. They've cooked chicken before. It's like, well, Sophie, what kind of chicken?
Well, they made
it's a different recipe.
A little issue because, well, we'll get into that, but
we'll get into all of it.
Each team did have a few little issues. It really wasn't that drastic, but
no,
because really they're really such professionals that, and even the people who did not make the finale, who were on their team, they were actually pretty professional.
I thought that the whole episode was kind of sad because it was kind of like watching the Penguin Season 1 finale where, Oswald, he's just going to fuck everyone's shit up and nobody really had a chance at all. And that's exactly what happened. Hannah was like Sophia. She was like the Sophia of Hell's Kitchen.
But she's not a fruitcake.
And then Oswald is, of course, Kyle. And it was very much like watching the Penguin Season 1. And it was like a dark episode. And, I think that it was surprising, though, because during their services, because I really don't think the stuff that happened before is worth talking about. It was just the lead up to the service, or I guess it kind of is because of Lulu, but we'll talk about her. But during the services, a lot of the focus was on the leadership style of both contestants because there weren't really very many mistakes that they had to correct. It was much more focused on like leadership skills and how is this person as a leader versus the other person? Safi?
Well, going into tonight, I thought Kyle was more of a shoo-in because I'm going to have to get a drink. His dishes were more creative and tasty. We thought going in to that Hannah had an unfair advantage with the judge who picked her.
Safi, the audience can't even hear you.
I can't. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a drink.
God, Safi. This is like what's become every video now because she won't go to the doctor get it taken care of.
I didn't have it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, sorry for that interruption. She sometimes she kind of acts like a Kyle, she won't even close the door. Close the door, Safi. You're wasting tape too. You're wasting tape. You're wasting everything. But what Kyle did beforehand was he picked Lulu, and I thought it was strange because Lulu was one of the weaker members of the men's team. She was not very good. Like, I don't know how she is. She seems like a fine person, but as a chef, she really wasn't the best in that team. And immediately he said, I'm just going to put her on cold appetizers so she's not going to cook anything. And she didn't want to do that. She thought that that was really spastic because other chefs on other stations were doing hot appetizer stuff that basically she should have been in charge of doing.
Yeah, and this is the thing before I start coughing. I thought Kyle had the advantage going in, and I thought, oh, he's going to win for sure. But then when they started doing their services, I did not like the way Kyle was with the other cooks and the chefs, and she's an example of that. And she was kind of, she was professional.
Yeah.
She was kind of resentful at first.
Yeah.
But she pulled it together and realized why she was there, and she got into her professional mode and followed through and did fine for the whole time. Really.
It's just weird why Kyle picked her, and then he has so little faith in her that basically she was just doing like making salads the whole time, the whole episode. So
well, she felt disrespected.
Yeah.
Respected. She said that.
She was.
And Hannah had a more personable style, and she did have.
She did have the worser team, though. Statistically.
Well, everything was fine except one of them. She decided to make, I don't know what the fascination with gnocchi.
It's really good.
I don't think so. I don't agree.
It's really good.
It's little squares of dough.
It's really good.
That are cooked, and but
Safi is full of shit. Because Safi is full of shit. She is full of shit because every time we go to Olive Garden, she gets chicken gnocchi soup because it's the best thing on their menu.
Well, this isn't soup. This is
that doesn't matter.
It just doesn't look good. It looks boring and tasteless. But anyway, this woman, who already Marco and I knew she was not good, but she picked her to be on the team, and she was burning it. She had the heat up too high, and Chef Ramsay, he's right in the middle of all of this, and he points it out, and she corrected it, and she, it was a mistake. It wasn't Hannah who was cooking. It was this other woman. But the thing is, she cleaned it up after, and she just, she did make. What was the other mistake that she had made?
It wasn't her. It was Anne Marie who disrespected Chef Gordon that time. She overcooked the chicken, and Gordon actually. Right. Gordon asked her if she was sabotaging her, and I thought, ooh, look, Gordon is still upset at her for being disrespectful towards him. He is still mad at her.
Well, he had, before they start cooking, and he had Hannah and Kyle in his office. He said, now listen, your teams might have a few little problems in the cooking. And I realized that, and I almost expect it. So he didn't have a cow, like, he can get really mad and want to throw people out and all that. He was not like that at all. He was very calm. And so he was more like he just went with the flow. And Hannah she was, firm. And she didn't get mad and say something bad to them. She just said, you got to fix it so we can make it good, make it go out, and everybody's going to like it. But Kyle, I did not like. Joe messed up. He was the Italian guy who is known for the pasta and all his Italian food. I think he's part Sicilian or something like that. Anyway, he was cooking scallops, and he effed him up like 3 times in a row. And I don't know, Kyle said something really rude to him, and I don't know. I just didn't feel like I thought he was very authoritarian. I thought he was very pompous and full of himself, and
Yeah,
I was a little disappointed.
he kind of acted like a foreign dictator.
Yeah, he acted like a dictator. We've seen a lot of that lately. So
and well,
I can see it for what it is.
He told Joe, "Get it right or fuck off."
Whatever that means.
But he did it in such a loud way to where it was almost like purposefully humiliating him in front of the entire team.
Well, not just that, the customers out in the audience.
And I thought,
too.
If I were Gordon, I would be taking all of this into consideration. Like, but I guess Gordon, I don't know what's going on with Gordon. He's very quiet. He seems to not be involved in a lot of things anymore. Like he's like stepping back, and it's like really weird because it's like, this is your show. This is your flagship show, Hell's Kitchen.
And it's the last episode, too. And the finale, where he has to pick the best one. And I'm wondering if really he had in mind the whole time who he was going to pick.
I don't think so, Sophie.
I don't know. I don't know. I just wonder. So, I don't know. Really, going in, I really was favoring Kyle because I thought his dishes were really interesting. And he was a showman, like when they did the tableside service. He was very personable and interesting, like he was doing a performance. And that was good. But I don't know, when you're a head chef at a restaurant like that, really that isn't going to ever come into play. You're back there in the back. Nobody sees you. And so what good is that? What a benefit is being the showman tableside if you don't even do that?
It was really depressing watching Kyle and his team.
Yeah, I just did not like his style. What would you call it? Managerial style? I didn't like it. And I thought Hannah was a lot more just even.
Hannah was just like safe. She was like, ugh. She was like very...
She was very even and calm.
Yeah.
And
but I would much rather work for Hannah than Kyle.
That's right. And that's both of us felt that way. If we were in a kitchen and we were working for Kyle, I feel like I'd be under so much stress without even doing anything. I would just be, because the way he acted, I just felt like I'd be a nervous wreck. And I could see myself feeling sick to my stomach and my blood pressure shooting up to the moon. Because he's so, I don't know. I didn't like it. It was very authoritarian. And I don't think you have to be that way. As an example of Hannah, she was not being authoritarian. She was being firm and saying, look, we have to, do this.
And she had the worser team, too. So the fact that she still managed to do a pretty damn good job is saying something. Like, considering, Kyle, he had a much better team overall. He did have Joe on his team, which is unfortunate. But, he quote-unquote likes Joe, so... Yeah.
I don't know. Well, so anyway, they both did the services, and the people who ate the food did do comment cards, and it seemed as if they were pretty even in their commenting about what they had eaten from both teams.
No, I thought it was strange because they showed the family tables, and the family members got to do comment cards too, and I thought that's a little biased.
That is weird.
Yeah. You didn't see that?
No.
Hannah's boyfriend, I saw, had a comment card. I thought that's kind of weird. That I wouldn't have done that if I were Gordon.
Yeah, so I don't know. Well, so anyway, they get called just before they really get into the service. They get called back to the kitchen again. Get called back in Gordon's office again. He gives them a black jacket to wear, so they put that on. And then they go back in the kitchen, and then he calls them back again a little while later and tells them when it's all said and done, they get to have this vacation. and they get to bring 4 people.
They get to go to the new Great Wolf Lodge, and I thought,
and we've been
this
there.
is so bizarre. Like, it's the finale, and you're just randomly announcing that the finalists are going to get to go on a all-expenses paid vacation. It's like, what the fuck is up with that?
And it's the Great Wolf Lodge we have one near Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And
we went there.
We went there, and it's really kind of aimed toward kids.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
And they're both adults, and there's, as far as I can see, neither one has children. So
Does
I don't
Hannah?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And I'm like, I mean, Marco was
Kyle's
kind of a kid. So,
Kyle's kind of a child, so.
But I mean, real children, because they have inside.
You saw how much fun Kyle had in the garbage, so.
Yeah. But they have like a swimming park in the Great Wolf Lodge, and
the food was terrible. It was
wasn't that great.
very overpriced, gross. I hated the food. The only thing I liked was that they had an arcade.
Yeah, they had a really nice arcade. But like
they had,
it's aimed toward kids.
They had table hockey. I thought that was fun, but other than that, I thought the place sucked. I thought it was a giant letdown.
Yeah, and it's not that far from here. So, and there's a few spread out all over the country, and but so I'm thinking like, oh, that's really nice. They get to bring 4 other people. They're going to bring 4 other adults. I mean, I don't know. I just thought. But anyway, so then they go back. They do all this thing. And like I said, Joe has trouble with scallops. Anne-Marie has trouble with the gnocchi. But other than that, it was pretty good service.
Egypt also did not heat up the French toast or something.
I don't know. Yeah, it was something
because he was rushing it.
He didn't check at the heat, and he brought it up, and it was cold. And so he went back and put it in, but he corrected himself immediately. And I thought the way they showed when they show little scenes from like the next episode, it looked like he was so disappointed that he lost that he was going to kind of screw it up for her because he was so disappointed.
And I predicted that was false advertising.
Yeah, it was a red herring.
Misleading.
Because he's professional. And he did not do that. And he wasn't even close to doing anything like that. So, and I'm glad because I thought that was very unprofessional. And I was shocked because he was so grown up and professional and interesting and quiet and strong. And he'd been through a lot because, like Marco said, they tried to get rid of him over and over and over
the
again.
whole season. And in fact, you could argue Kyle not picking him was a tell.
Yeah. So we come to the end.
Well, I thought what was funny was that Amanda, she only had one thing to say the whole episode, and that was she could cook meat better than anyone else.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. That was like so Amanda, so in character. So this was a depressing episode. Kyle won. Unfortunately, good luck with that.
I wouldn't want to work for him, and I don't envy anybody who works for him.
I would rather work for any of those other chefs in the entire, except probably, I don't know. Joe doesn't even seem like a head chef.
No, he doesn't.
He seems like a frat boy or something.
Well, he just doesn't. He's not. He doesn't seem like he's. He just does whatever he wants to do, and he doesn't seem like a team player.
But I would work for every single other chef in that whole kitchen except for Kyle.
Yeah, I was really disappointed because it's not the way I thought he would be.
It was very much like the Penguin, where it's like, wow, why did the Penguin do that to Victor?
Yeah, except Kyle won. And Hannah
so did the Penguin.
And Hannah didn't win, but she was a very good sport about it. I mean, so calm and cool, and she's been through a lot, but I don't know, she was just so even.
I don't know why he didn't pick her too, because she did a great job. She did a much better job than Kyle in terms of leadership.
Yeah. don't know. And it's just like, in the way, what Chef Ramsay was just so, like Marco said, he was so, like, withdrawn.
Yeah.
You know, he just, like...
He seems aloof.
Stepped back. He stepped back.
And he's very quiet, too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, let's go. Chef Gordon here. Okay, come up my office.
Very un-Chef Gordon-like. Now,
Hell's
you
Kitchen.
know he did have some kind of accident where he bruised his body up really badly, and I'm wondering, maybe this happened right after that or something, and he was not feeling well. I don't know, like he was sore, because he was really in bad shape.
Well, I am sick currently, and I'm doing just fine.
Okay. Marco and I both really were both disappointed and we both of us had felt that Kyle was the stronger person and before the episode started. So it's just funny how we both came up with the same conclusion. We did not like Kyle's managerial style. And we both thought Hannah, and when they showed them, what they do is they stand, if you don't know, they stand in front of a door.
And Safi misled me because she told me Hannah won, and I was like, yay! And then she didn't. I was like, oh.
Well, it looked like she was able to turn the handle. Because what they do is they put their hands on the handles of these two doors, and he goes 1, 2, counts it down real slowly to 3. He says, okay, open the door. And so they put their hand on the handle, and they try to open the door, and the handle came down, and I thought Hannah was coming through, and it was Kyle. He got through. So it was a disappointment. Sorry, Kyle, but I wouldn't want to work with you at all.
God,
I want to
Safi.
work for you or with you.
The way that he has a very, like, bad, like, management style where he's like, okay, you're only this good. You need to stay here and do this specific thing perfectly. And you can only do this thing. Like the way it's very like rude and kind of like
Pretentious.
Dehumanizing.
Yeah, and he said as a kid he was bullied, and I don't know if he's just like getting back for all those years of being bullied.
That's what it is.
So, other than that, he is very good at creativity and performance.
I just hit myself.
But like I said, you don't see all that because the chef's behind the door in the kitchen, and you don't see them entertaining you with their food and making their food. They're behind the door. You don't see them at all. So why that would even figure into anything is beyond my comprehension. Because I remember the episode when they did the tableside service, and Hannah had that jackass who kept bitching about things getting caught in his teeth, like it's her personal responsibility and problem that he was getting things caught in his teeth, and being just an ass. And they're never going to see. You're never going to see the chef.
You're never going to see Kyle again.
Oh, he's going to be behind the door.
Well,
maybe on doing a special like Friday night. See Kyle do tableside service every Friday night. We have a little thing where Kyle cooks whatever. What did he like? That kind of steak.
Maybe you'll hear him
Some
though.
kind of steak.
Safi.
Hanger steak and gnocchi.
Maybe you'll hear him
on tableside.
Safi.
What?
Maybe you'll hear him behind the door though. You won't see him, but you'll hear him.
He yells at one of his...
You're not making this sexy enough!
Yeah, that was another thing. I'll just bring this up. We'll wrap it up. He says, apparently, in every episode, he said the word sexy, meaning this food's really sexy. And he said this the whole evening, actually, on this contest service, this final one. Okay, we want to make this food really sexy. And sexy this and sexy that.
I thought that was really gay.
And he's gay. But anyway, big deal.
Yeah, pun intended.
And I've never even heard anybody saying, well, if you're going to make your food sexy, what the hell does that even mean? But anyway, Marco left the room, but
Colorful?
he said, I have no idea. But he said, I think I'm the only contestant in Hell's Kitchen history to say the word sexy so many times in a season. And then they showed all these different times during the season where he said, oh, the food's sexy, this is sexy, that is sexy, 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 sexy. I mean, over and over, talking about food. And I'm like, what is sexy food? I mean, give me a break. And so anyway, whatever. We're disappointed, but good luck to him, but good luck to the people who have to work for him.
Oh! Well, I would give this episode a C because I didn't really think anything of it. It wasn't really that good of a finale. It was kind of depressing. It was like the Penguin, so yeah.
Well, yeah, it was.
But the Penguin was good though. The Penguin was good, but this was bad because
just funny because Marco and I both were thinking like, well, Hannah's kind of the weaker one, and she's not gonna get it. But just the way when it all was laid out right in front of us, our attitudes both changed without even talking about it. And so anyway, it's a shame Hannah didn't win, but you know what? She'll do fine because she works well with others. And I think that's important in being a head chef, being able to work well with others and not be some kind of effing dictator. I think we have enough dictators around right now. We don't need any more. So
I would also say that the winner of the season was a huge downgrade from last season. I mean, seriously.
Well, I can't speak to that because I didn't
seriously.
See last season.
But Safi, you will be watching Hell's Kitchen from now on. You are now
I suppose.
You are now a Hell's Kitchen fan.
The reason why I stopped watching, I've said this before.
Let's okay.
Forget it. Smoke too much.
Forget it.
I was thinking, how could they eat how could they taste their food?
Get out of here.
Nobody here smoked.
Get out of here. You've been eliminated. You see yourself through the door.
So if you like this video,
Chef Gordon says,
and
get out of here. Get him out of here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.